Hi friends, in this video we'll have a look at the functions. What the functions are, what functions are and why we need that, and how to write it one. Okay. Functions are not a new concept. Anybody who has learned math in their school, they might have seen similar things. Math or physics, sin x, cos x, all those things. So, by definition, my mathematical definition, function is something which takes some input and gives you the output. So it does some processing in between the things. For example, sin x takes the angle and gives you the other numbers. Okay, the same way whatever you want to do it. So this is the standard thing with the same definition applies to computers as well. Function is same as this, no difference. It is a piece of code which takes some input and it will return you something. It might take, it might not take as well. If it takes, the input things are called arguments and the return thing is called return value. If it doesn't, it's fine. Sometimes it just does some task and then it quits without having anything. So the ultimate aim is to do a specific task. Okay, the task may be just to print a value or to calculate something or to do both as well. Okay, the reason why we need to go for functions is to modularize the code. Let's assume I'm writing the sin x function in a C program. So, assuming it takes 3 lines of code to do the calculation. And I want to do the sin x calculation is in 30 different places in my program. So what I'll do, I'll copy paste all the same 3 lines of code in all 30 places. Okay. So it makes my code look cumbersome. Point number 1. Second, let's assume I did a mistake in the first instance when I was writing the first 3 lines. Since I copy pasted it, all the same bug is, same error is there in all 30 places. Okay. So again, it makes my life difficult by introducing more bugs. So what I'll do is I'll put that piece of code into a small readable thing called a function and call whenever I need it. And obviously it's easy for modification. Okay. Since it's only one place, if there is a bug, I'll change there itself. You can imagine functions are like a mini programs by itself, but it's not truly a program, but it's part of the program. Okay, so this is a syntax for it. First is its return type. It is returning something. It might return, it may not return as well. Second is a function name. Third is the arguments, and whatever code you want to put inside is called function body. Okay, so this is a standard syntax no matter which programming language you are in. So whether it's a C, C++, Java, Python, C#, almost everything follows the same thing. Maybe there might be a little bit of syntax variations in the things, but the structure is same. So this is an example for it. This is a function called, I have written called max. So max is the function name. You can give any name of your choice. It could be my max, your max, maximum, okay, maxer, whatever you want to give it. The second int a and int b is the parameters which I give it. I am giving 2 integers and ask the function to compare and then give me the results. So that's called the parameters, and it will return me a value that's called return type, and that's data type is int. So I have to specify it as an int. Okay. The part below it is completely called the function body. So this piece. Okay. So this piece is the function body. It does something. Okay. It could be a single line, it could be a multi-line, whatever you want to do it, and it returns a value, and the returned value is passed to the caller. Okay. We'll discuss who is the caller in the next slide. Okay. So the return type and the return value should be of the same type, or else it will throw an error or it will throw a warning. It depends on the thing. Okay. Let's assume you say like it is a, okay, let's move to caller and callee first. Then we'll have a look at other stuffs. Okay. The caller is a person who is calling. It's a plain English. Callee is the person who is getting called. Okay. The process of calling is called invoking, function invoking or function calling. Okay. It's pure plain English, nothing complicated here. Okay. So let's create our void main, and I am having 2 variables, a and b, and then I am calling the function called max. Here caller is the main function, callee is the max, and it returns the maximum of 2 numbers where I get it in C. So the value which is returned from that function is stored in C, and I'm just printing the C in the next line and returning it 0. So the void main is the caller, and the whole program is part of the void main. So the max is getting called or invoked by it. That's all. Very simple. Okay. So let's go and run it from here. So here I am using Visual Studio IDE. So far I have used GC++. So this time I want to use this one to show another important thing called breakpoints. So the red dot, when you can see in that left hand side, is called breakpoint. Okay, breakpoint is nothing but the program breaks in the place where you are saying to you stop there. That's the instruction which we are going to give to the IDE. These are some of the features which you will get when you are using the IDE. So the same function, I am having a main declared to variables a and b, and pasted the piece of code which you have seen in the PowerPoint, and I am going to debug this thing. Okay, let's go to that debug thing. Where is, yeah. So in the first line the breakpoint is there, so it stopped over there. Okay, so next what we'll do is we'll see the call stack. So let's zoom it and see it. The same code, I haven't changed not even a single line of thing, single word. The main declaration is part of the thing which I didn't add in. The IDE provides it. You can, if you want to remove the int arg and int v, arg and c, you can remove it. That doesn't matter. So the flow is going to be int, then it's going to call max. So if I go to the next line and step into it, it will go to the function called max, and in the max it compares which is greater and returns me the temporary max. The temporary max value which is returned is stored in C. C is the variable which I have declared and initialized to 0, and last I am printing it. Okay, so if you see, this is the call stack of it. Main function which is calling it. So go and try learning call stack using any one of the IDE in any programming language which you want to do. This is very important to understand. Okay, either it could be a Java or a C using a NetBeans or Eclipse or a Visual Studio or a code block. There are different IDEs. Whichever IDE you want to use it, you can learn it. Coming back to this, yeah. So in the main, if we step into it, it'll go and call the things. Let's step over to it. Okay, step into, so max, and then I am doing to step into. So see here, so automatically the main is called from here to there. So if I zoom in, last time it was only main was there. Now the call stack has added max to its part as well. So this is how the call stack grows, and so once I execute it, it will come out and then it will print the value. That's the standard way of it. And calls after this, what you can do is you can start playing around a little bit of problems which I'm going to give in the next workouts. Let's run a step out. So in the return max, it's going to return what is the value 20 it's supposed to return. See, so in the watch variable it's returning temp max. The temp max is returning 20, so that's what's seen in the watch variable window. See here it is. Okay, so this value would be given to C. So as of now C is error because it's we are inside that function. Once it comes to main, the C will become alive. So the value which is written in the temp max would be stored to the C. Let's go and step over. See, here it comes. Still it doesn't cross this line, so C's value is uninitialized. Let's go back to the, see, it came back to main. The max is popped out of the stack, call stack, so it is not present there. So C value is set to 0. So once I cross the next line, C value would be set to 20, which is returned by the temp max to it. So here if you see, temp max is error symbol because that the scope of the variable is gone. Temp max is declared only within the max function. Okay, let's go to return function till run to cursor. So I've got the number 20. So if you see, the 20 is printed, which is the max number. And then it moves on with printing something else. Let's go back to slides and start the workout. So trace the flow manually by adding printf statements before every line. That's another way to debug thing without using IDE. Okay, so practice that. That will be useful in debugging a lot of complex things. Even if you are debugging a thread program, printf or console log is the best way to debug it rather than the IDE. Okay. Then understand what's call by value and call by reference. That's very, very important. Okay. So then what is a call stack? The call stack is the one which we saw. Okay. There main and max it's calling. So go and Google it and figure it out what a call stack means and understand in depth about call stack. And then why local variable dies. So by now you should be able to answer that because we have seen the scope. So the answer is scope of the things. When the scope goes out, it is, and why the scope goes out, that's another question. So write up a program to find the biggest of 3 numbers. Now we have done 2 numbers. Okay. Then the last task is to return how to return more than one value. Whatever we have seen is returning only one value. Is there a way we can return more than one value? That's the question. So I'm giving the answer. Your point is to go and use it. So you can do it using pointers or structures. Okay. So go and explore how to do it. Thank you, friends. Bye bye. That's all for today.